being altered away from what was written or what was stated without being misinterpreted or being reinterpreted. There are individuals that will twist words into a different meaning based on their own biases. What is being attempted is the imposition of political correctness, which is nothing more than thought control. I refuse to be subjected to such antics, as I'm a free American. I will express my views at times and quote others as relevant at times. It is very clear that in this country, the leftists have corrupted a once honorable political party, the Democrat Party. Those leftists sometimes go by the name progressives. There's an attempt to smear an honorable individual, Judge Kavanaugh. There are unsubstantiated charges against the judge. Any individual making the charges has the right to be heard and be treated fairly, just as Judge Kavanaugh has a right to be heard and treated fairly. So with this ongoing Supreme Court nomination that's well underway and very much in the news, I'm going to quote a couple of individuals who made some recent news media comments because they're relative to the views I have. The first one was during a radio program by a gentleman named Mark Levin. He stated, quote, "What you see here, ladies and gentlemen, is a battle between those who support the Constitution and those who don't. Those who support constitutionalism and those who support progressivism. Progressives are not compassionate. Progressives don't have big hearts. They use people. In the name of people, they destroy people. In the name of the public, they destroy society. They are power hungry. They are control freaks. They are authoritarians. And you're seeing it all over TV and all over Congress." Another individual recently, a gentleman named Tucker Carlson, said, quote, "Republicans want Ford to testify because they want to get this over with and vote. That's what you do in a democracy." They even offered to interview her privately in California. Senator Grassley sent a letter to that effect just recently. Democrats oppose that, of course. They would like to ride this story into November and beyond. Instead, the left is calling for an FBI investigation. The FBI wants nothing to do with any of this, as he reported on the show last evening. So Democrats are now demanding that Trump order the FBI to investigate the story. But investigate what exactly? Where would you start? Ford cannot even state definitively what year this supposedly happened. And by the way, why would the FBI be in charge of the investigation? Nobody's even alleged a federal crime here. If you really want justice in this case, you would bring it to the police in Maryland. That's a state with no statute of limitations on sex crimes. How would that end? Well, Ford says Kavanaugh was a juvenile at the time. If evidence of his guilt emerged, would he be tried as a minor? Would his record be sealed afterwards so it wouldn't overshadow his life? Those sound like absurd questions. That's because this whole thing is absurd. The Democrats don't care about Christine Ford. If they did, they wouldn't have outed her in the first place. They care about keeping a Republican off the court, which is fine. But if that's the case, then make the case for why Kavanaugh's ideas are wrong. But don't personally destroy a man simply because he's in the way. That's what they're doing. And the rest of us should stop playing along and say it out loud. End quote. So I say, wake up. What is going on in our country is not about Judge Kavanaugh. It's not about the allegations from decades ago. It's not. It's about leftists destroying due process and a presumption of innocence. And it's about the destruction of our country. So with that, my commissioner's report is ended, and I will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Before you do that, I think it's only fair to understand that commissioners' reports said in the past some things that were on my mind, that Evan's, report is voiced by Evan and not necessarily by this whole board. And we respect his report, but it, I wanted to make sure that it's his individual thoughts. Okay?
Yes, these are individual commissioners' reports. Entertain a motion to.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we move into exec session for a personnel matter under 3-305B1II.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are in executive session, and then we will resume at 2 p.m. for an award ceremony at the College of Southern Maryland.